USURPER is a fast-paced, highly strategic card drafting and grid placement game for 2 players. In this dark fantasy game, you'll recruit followers from the realm's 4 distinct factions, then unite them in a bid to dominate your adversary and seize the throne. The goal of the game is to earn the most victory points by the end of the scoring phase, and there are a ton of card synergies, unique abilities, and different ways to score points. Here's a quick look at how to play, and for more detailed rules, be sure to download and read through the full instruction booklet. So setup only takes a quick minute. First, separate the 10 bonus scoring cards from the main deck, and then shuffle each deck separately. Each player now draws a secret bonus scoring card. You can look at your own card anytime, but keep it hidden from the other player until the scoring phase. This card does not count as part of your hand, so you'll want to look at it and then set it aside for now. And then remove the rest of the bonus scoring cards from play. Now, we're going to create the recruitment row by drawing 6 cards from the main deck and placing them face up in a line. And that's all you have to do for setup. Choose a player to go first, and then get started. Now, the gameplay in USURPER flows quickly across 3 main phases. First, there's the drafting phase, where you will draft cards to recruit followers. Then there's the card placement phase, where you will alternate placing your followers on your own 3x3 grid. And finally, the scoring phase, where you'll tally up your points and apply other abilities and bonus scoring cards. Let's look at each of these main phases. So first is the drafting phase. Starting with the first player, take turns drawing a card from the recruitment row until each player has a hand of 9 cards. Each time a card is drawn from the recruitment row, immediately replace it with another card from the main deck, and keep your hand concealed during play. At the end of the drafting phase, players may optionally choose to discard 1 card from their hand and draw a new card at random from the main deck. In either case, though, discard any remaining cards in the recruitment row once this phase is complete. Each player then draws a card from the bonus scoring deck and places it face down in front of them, marking the center position of their 3x3 grid. This card will be used as a marker only to help you keep track of where the center space is on your own grid, so a faction card can be played on it. And it's just worth noting, it is best to play sitting across from one another, but you can play side by side if you choose, just as long as you keep your hand and bonus scoring cards concealed from your opponent. And then on to the card placement phase. Players should have their own 9-card hand of followers, and the center space of their own 3x3 grid marked out in front of them. Players now take alternating turns placing a card face up on their own 3x3 grid, following any grid placement restrictions on their cards if applicable. The player who drafted first places first. Now there are 2 additional things to pay attention to here, and that's triggering card abilities and then grid placement restrictions. Card abilities marked as an instant trigger immediately when played to your grid. All other card abilities trigger at the end of the game during the scoring phase. And then cards with this grid icon may only be played on the grid spaces highlighted in white. Cards without this icon can be played anywhere on your own grid unless otherwise noted. Now, when all players can no longer place cards in their 3x3 grid, the game enters the scoring phase. If a player cannot legally place any more of their cards, they must wait until the other player is finished before proceeding to the scoring phase. And then it's time to score up your grid. Players tally the base score of each card on their 3x3 grid, adding in any ability modifiers to your score as you go. And you may activate abilities in any order to maximize score. Don't forget that points from your secret bonus card are tallied and added last, and the player with the most victory points overall wins. And that's USURPER in a nutshell. Be sure to read the full rulebook for card anatomy diagrams and other important notes on gameplay. Thanks for watching.